and which gives Winston Churchill Manatees on the right to first pick to Winston Churchill. So Tomb of the Spider Queen is a very rotation heavy map. This time we immediately see the Phoenix ban. We don't even actually wait for the second team to ban it. They immediately did not want to play Phoenix, which is kind of odd because that almost tells me that they do not have a Phoenix player. But Victoria's immediately banning the Tracer too. I mean, Tracer did just recently get nerfed, losing a little bit, like kind of reverting a little bit of her buff from the last patch. But how quick that was, that I almost wonder if they maybe saw a different game from Winston Churchill that showed a lot of Tracer play that they were scared of. Winston Churchill first picking the Garrosh, I think one of the best tanks right now, just because of the disruption he causes. He does have a lot once he finishes Q quest with a stun, and he can stun a lot of people. Once he gets level 13, he gets a lot of sustain from the shield that every time he stuns somebody. So if you have a really strong Garrosh player, I believe he does provide just so much CC ability and right on the. I like rushed myself too much. I didn't even change the overlays. The first pick, Medivh, from Victorious Juniors and the Blaze. So they're picking up their solo laner. They have Medivh to help win the rotations, which doesn't show much of the rest of their comp. They're actually, I mean, that does hide a lot besides the solo laner, obviously. They still have their healer and their main damage dealer. So they're going to want somebody with AoE or pick up a tank that is AoE. So they might pick up the Joanna. They could still pick up a Diablo with a Medivh. But because so Winston Churchill Manatees got them as 2 picks. They have the Garrosh. They're probably looking to pick up their healer. Yep, there's the Malfurion, which is great follow-up for the Garrosh with the roots. And probably one of their damage dealers. They probably don't need to pick up their solo laner here unless they are trying to hide some damage dealers in for the bans. So I pretty much at this point, they don't really want to go with too many mages because they have the Medivh, but they end up going with the Jaina anyways. So Medivh is a pretty good counter to Jaina and Garrosh because he gets the Force of Will and the portals to get away. So there is a healer. I think right now probably Victorious is looking to ban a solo laner that they don't want to play against. There's already a solid 3-man, but they're getting rid of they're looking to show they're getting rid of the poke. Junkrat's very good. That Junkrat's actually a great ban for Victorious because as soon as it's one of those things where if somebody puts a portal down, Junkrat just knocks them away from the portal, just throws the bomb right there, knocks them all away, and then that portal is pretty much useless. And that's one of the biggest things about Medivh. Now, I mean, Malfurion's already a big counter to the roots, to the portals, just because of the roots. And getting rid of the Junkrat was probably the best ban they could do. And Winston Churchill, knowing that they haven't picked a healer yet, actually decides to give up the Stukov, or decides to ban out the Stukov to make sure that they are not dealing with all those silences or the flailing swipe. I actually kind of like. Do I like Lucio here? No. I think it'll have to be Rhaegar. Gives them extra wave clear on the rotation, which they're going to need with the Jaina to go on any type of frontliner that they have. They could pick up a Joanna, Rhaegar here, leave their damage dealer for whoever it is, or they can pick up their damage dealer healer and leave their tank for the last pick. Because you have options of the Diablo, you have options of the ETC, which are all good on rotation maps. And then and obviously Joanna's good if they need the wave clear. They could go with the Gul'dan and just try to do the sustain war. Malfurion's one of the better healers against Gul'dan. Medivh is, kind of give some protection from the Garrosh. They do pick up the Joanna, and they go with Alexstrasza instead, not the Rhaegar. Alexstrasza is still one of the upper tiers of healers that have their own wave clear. And plus, if you are ever in a situation where you need to really fight over the boss or you need to really fight over the turn-in point, Alexstrasza with Dragon Form can just provide, it just essentially wins you the fight unless you outlast it. So, Winston Churchill, they have their solo laner that they still need to pick up. I think I like the Sonya. Do I want Leoric? Malthael. Malthael's pretty good. Provides the dots that will last past the shield duration. Malthael will beat up Joanna and Blaze pretty well. I don't think he synergizes with the rest of the team. With the rest of his own team. Pick up the Maiev for more of that disruption, especially against the portals. And Zagara. Spicy Zagara on a short 3-lane map does not get any value from her Nidus, which is fine, but her creep does provide a lot of vision on the turn-in point, which is very critical. And honestly, will still beat up the Blaze. I like Lucio. Yeah, I mean, he's on rotations. It's pretty crucial to get the rotation well, and he can kind of guarantee that you will get the other lane faster. So what damage dealer does Victorious want? The Greymane. Greymane's solid with Medivh. That allows Greymane to really dive in as much as he wants and still get the shield. So, I mean, I don't know. I like Winston Churchill's draft more just because of the control that they're going to be able to create on this map and against the Medivh. Like the first pick Medivh kind of opened them up to some weaknesses because Medivh is super weak against any type of disruption. If they portal in the wrong time and they go in before Garrosh has already used his throw, then that person's pretty much dead. Maiev can do her little tether and walk away, and that person should be dead. So it's gonna be tough, especially with any slows from the Joanna. Now the biggest thing that Winston Churchill has is, I don't know, they don't even have more wave clear, honestly. They have Joanna, Greymane, Alexstrasza, which takes a little bit of time because Alexstrasza has to get 2 Qs out and she can only hit about 4 minions at a time. I don't know, I think I have to give it to Winston Churchill. But well, obviously, you have no idea until we see the rest of the map goes out. So on the left-hand side, we got Victorious Juniors. We got Belalos on the Alexstrasza. Why do I not see the name for Medivh? Wait. Why is that not so a name on bird form? That's actually really stupid. Well, I don't know who's in the bird. So we got Ashteru on the Greymane, Tanzer on the Blaze, and J-Mac on the Joanna. On the right-hand side, Winston Churchill Manatees. We got Quilf on the Garrosh, Grover on the Malfurion, Silthrint on the Jaina, Nathan on the Maiev, and Cheekies on the Zagara. So early game, Zagara's got the push. We're probably gonna, I would like to see, honestly, I would have liked to see them rotate to the middle and allow Zagara to get free creep right here, just to see any type of rotations that come in. Granted, Blaze probably would have cleared it really quick, but this is actually better. Like, you don't want to do that as Blaze, because that does use up your mana pretty hard and uses up your wave clear and your healing. A nice 3-man stun or 2-man stun from the Garrosh, getting that free quest stacks. We already have the more wave clear is already being, and I like it. So the rest of them are fighting, and Jane is just gonna go clear because, hey guys, that's not the important part of this map. I'm just gonna focus on the wave clear, get my globes. Ooh, but this is the scary part. If Jaina does end up going out there by herself, Medivh can get there super quick with the rest of his team. But both teams just going to be looking to do their rotation game. Zagara is going to bully Blaze out right here. Yes, Medivh did get nerfed. His talents for the circle of shielding, circle protection, has increased cooldown. Medivh's already at 10 stacks though. Pretty good. I mean, actually, this is rotation from, I mean, the portal rotation is making it faster for Victorious Juniors, so we could see this being pretty beneficial. Garrosh looking for the throw. Joanna should have her trait. There it is, so there's no problem there. And Blaze is actually already backed and losing a lot of value in this lane. Zagara is just so punishing against any type of range damage, any type of range tank. Just because you stick your hunter on there and they can't do anything. And she's got so much vision here that nobody's really going to be able to sneak up on her. Greymane's rotating down to the Giants, but this should be able to get sniffed out by the Zagara, especially the fact that they're not going to see the Greymane in the rotation anymore. There it is. That's the throw away from the portal. Portal was not, the second portal wasn't even able to be placed. Oh, but the cooldown because he did not place the second portal. I did not know that worked that way. If you didn't place the second portal, that you didn't actually lose the cooldown. I thought if the first portal went away, that's the cooldown, but I guess that's not how that works. So it's a lucky for Medivh. The only downside for this rotation game is that Jaina gets literally 0 stacks because nobody's fighting. So that is going to make it a long time to get her ice block, which is it's going to be pretty needed against the Greymane, especially if it goes go for the throat. Nobody's decided to, I mean, there are Giants were taken by Victorious Juniors, and this actually is allowing Blaze to get a lot of the wave clear, or a lot of the lane control in the bot lane. A big tether from the Maiev, able to pull the Medivh away. There is no portal, and does go down, losing all of his stacks. The last final Warbreaker from the Garrosh able to secure that kill. Garrosh is getting pretty stacked pretty quickly. I mean, that's just going to... I mean, once he gets that reduced cooldown, it's going to be so hard to fight into him. Zagara's pretty low on mana. She's going to have to back soon if she doesn't have a well. Am I able to see that? No, she only has a well for another 20 seconds to keep her sustained in there. And so the more that Blaze actually is able to hit the fire and step in his own heal onto the Zagara, it's going to cause her to slowly just whittle away. Greymane getting pulled away from the Maiev, able to smartly dive onto a minion wave to get into the Worgen form. Give him a little bit of a slight dash and escapability. Still, neither team are kind of really getting any turn-ins. Joanna sneaking down the bottom turn-ins, causing the soak on the top lane for it. But them getting in the Joanna turn-in is way bigger of a deal. Now, they both kind of want to be playing defense here. Fortunately for Victorious, there are... all the gems are either on Zagara or split between 3 members of the other team. So they can easily see them. Well, at least try to pay attention and just have to poke one at a time. But if they don't see this turn-in on top lane, nobody's going to invade on this. Oh, there's the Joanna with the vision from the Medivh. Zagara, if the Zagara goes down, this is going to be such a big deal. Oh, they end up not killing the Zagara. So close. Jaina already... But like the soaking, actually, the Jaina wave clear is just dominating these rotations. Joanna's actually going to end up dying. But at least they get the turn in. It's a little unfortunate that Joanna dies, because then while they're turning, I mean, it's going to take a little bit of time for Joanna to return to the lane to actually put pressure. There is a full level lead because of the rotations from the Jaina. The fact that Jaina has been completely focused on rotating, and honestly, Victorious has been a lot more focused on team fighting, trying to get some picks, that they've actually lost a whole wave, a whole level of experience. Granted, there's also 2 kills, so that does add into it. And these web weavers are going to allow them to catch up. Unfortunately, they were a little too... the waves were not cleared early enough, so the web weavers got met in the middle, which allows Jaina some time to like kill it before it gets to the towers. So, looking for some poke, Garrosh is like, hey, I'm still going to walk past the web weaver just to try to get the throw. Ashley gets out the dragon wave, the dragon queen, so I'm assuming that Victorious is going to be looking for a fight here to try to get any type of duration out of that queen. But they just kind of peel away. They only got 1 front wall from those web weavers, almost 0 value, and caught up by a quarter of a level. So this is where the game gets tough. This is where Victorious Juniors has to play goalkeep. Medivh does make it a little bit easier. We see the Greymane sneak by to take the Giants on the bottom. But this goalkeeping is just going to be so tough. Nice by the Joanna to be able to throw that in. He still has his trait. Her trait. Are they not going to interrupt this? Oh, they did not. Medivh did not want to go in there. Got scared. Ooh, too bad they didn't bait that in there. This Hydralisk is just destroying Blaze. So the difference here is that level 10's now reached for Winston Churchill and the Web Weavers. And their minions are basically, their Web Weavers are being at the gate. And the gates are already hurt because of the extra rotations. This is going to be a hard defense. I would suspect Winston Churchill gets a fort here. Especially with the 4-man top. Look, pushing that boss lane. Honestly, Victorious almost just needs to give this up completely. Garrett, the gray main, oh no, with the throw, the portal does go down with the roots. He's not able to go into it with the complete crowd control from Winston Churchill. This is actually going to give them 2 forts with that kill because they got a little bit greedy on the clear instead of just giving them that fort, clearing bottom, and then that will give them 10 and then refight at the keep. It would have been the safer play. They would have lost 1 fort instead of 2. I still have, I mean, Victorious has not been able to secure any kills here. Medivh is still halfway done with his stacks. My dog is just throwing toys at me. Sorry if you hear all the squeaking. So, looking at the talents, Alexstrasza is about halfway done with her quest, but we're going to get another Web Weaver. This is where the snowballing really starts happening. The Web Weavers, double Web Weaver spawn with 2 walls, 3 forts already down. Look at the damage. The Zagara is actually with the most hero damage because she's just been poking at the Blaze the whole game. That's a little deceiving. Especially since Jaina now has the highest siege damage. They're looking to fight right on this keep. They want this advantage. They're going to have 13 versus just level 10s. I think level 10s are available for everybody. Zagar actually went Bile Drop, which is pretty interesting. They don't have Zagar here. She did go Nidus on such a small map. Blaze able to finish his quest, but we got the 5 attack, 5 defense here. Medivh is not really doing anything. Honestly, right here, he could just be getting stacks. There it is. Just to at least clear the Web Weaver a little bit. But this 5-man, they want it hard. They're looking for that engage with the Maiev. Ends up not taking it. Garage is looking for the throw. There's the Blaze. We're going to see the bunker go down. Perfect time with the bunker and the Blessed Shield. Dragon Queen form going down. And they're going to chase this. They're going to chase this hard. Oh, the Warden's Cage actually might save them. Nice ley line to block him out. Blaze is getting low. Ends up healing himself and getting some heals from the Alexstrasza. The skinny... This just turned into a bloodbath. That skinny Frostbolt to hit that Blaze, and then the Maiev in the background was actually just killing everybody else with the Greymane and the Joanna. And during that whole team fight, they lost both keep walls and took significant keep damage. This 2 keeps actually go down with that team fight. That was so much worth, and Zagar is actually still over here pushing because she has that creep and she has that run speed on it, and she's just able to run away. So now level 13 were picked up for Victorious. Still goes with the Circle of Protection, even though with the new nerf with increasing the cooldown. We'll have to see if there's a time. We're going to try to look for a time when Medivh wanted to shield somebody, and he probably couldn't because of that extra CD. But with level 16s to level 13s, I mean, Winston Churchill has full control of the map. Are they going to make the play for the boss? Zagara's down here by herself. She doesn't have vision of that yet, but honestly, the rest of the team has visions of the team of Victorious. They're going to make for the play for the boss now. Level 16 still available. I mean, they're still ahead on the talent tier. Victorious is pretty much stuck clearing all the waves from the Zagara and from the Web Weavers and the Mercs. So that's just a free boss, and I mean, obviously, Victorious knows it. I mean, they can't do anything about it. They're down 16. They have to clear waves. Zagara actually still has her little Nidus network there, so she can just jump ahead of everybody if she wanted to. They're gonna look to end here. 16's nowhere near achievable for Victorious. Medivh stack's still not done. Actually, Garrosh stack's still not done. I mean, this is going to be a tough defense. This is going to take everything. Granted, they have Dragon Queen, which does allow for it. They were winning the team fight last time they took it until Maiev kind of just soloed the other two members. Pushing past the boss, a nice big AoE hit right there, but they actually got zoned away from everybody because of the Garrosh. Maiev coming in with the big tether. No Warden's Cage yet with the bunker. Nice counter with the the Blessed Shield. But Greymane ends up falling down. Again, we haven't seen a Maiev shield in a while. Like, that might have been the cooldown. And just, I mean, Winston Churchill just cleans up, not losing everybody else. Maiev actually just dives in with no health to able to secure the 5-man wipe, giving Winston Churchill the first win. All right. I mean, that was a pretty good game. Oh, now my dog's back in here. So, that was a pretty good first game. Winston Churchill got that slight level lead. I think there were just slight differences with the play from Victorious. They just needed to, honestly, focus on their rotation a little bit more because they did lose out on a lot of potential of where their Web Weavers got placed. Dragonshire. So, and because of that, like, their Web Weavers got almost zero value because they got placed into the middle of the wave, and in the middle of the lane, and they weren't able. Like, they got cleared out. Like, Jaina cleared mid wave before it even got there. Zagara cleared midway, bottom lane before it even got there. Guy's name. Rolf is the other guy. Fight him. Oh, Balsa, that's what I was doing. Swap teams, get everything set up. So we have team 1 is now first pick. I mean, like I said in the beginning, I liked Winston Churchill's draft a lot more. And they definitely played it really well too. I think this is this guy. Guy goes, wait, Crazy Mage. The J-Mac, Tanzer, Grover, Nathan, Bellis. Is that correct? I think that looks right. Alright, so we're just getting the team situated. Crazy Mage. Okay. Nathan with Crazy Mage. Rover with Ashitaro. I'm referee. Got first team draft on team 1. Yes, and I need to update Taurine. All right, so let's get into game number 2. Both teams are ready. All right, so game number 2 is bringing us to Dragonshire, picked by Victorious Juniors. No, picked by Winston Churchill Manatees, so Victorious Juniors has first pick. So Dragonshire, another, it's like a semi-rotation map. You want to rotate between mid and bot, but you also want to have somebody that is kind of sitting in mid and 3-man, like it almost ends up like a 3-man bot, 1-man mid, and like with that one man mid being like your main wave clear, and then they will rotate bottom to help secure the beacon area. But Victorious Jr. is once again banning the Tracer, and Winston Churchill banning the Phoenix. So, I mean, it's very curious why Victorious Juniors is banning the Tracer. I think that they must obviously have done some scouting of Winston Churchill, knowing that they have a good Tracer player. Or they just really do not like going against Tracer. But this time, Victorious has the Garrosh, so we're going to have to see how they are able to utilize his abilities. I feel like they needed to gank the Zag more. Yeah, they needed to, but it's honestly, it was... Like, if they spent too many people going down to Zag, they were really going to lose the wave clear. Winston Churchill picking up the Stukov and the Maiev once again. It worked out really well for them last game. Maiev against Garrosh is actually a very hard matchup because, I mean, a lot of times with Maiev, you want to go in with your blink.
Change is upon us.
And they're actually picking the new Dahaka. So this is a buffed... I believe probably a buffed Dahaka. Draft. Alright. I mean, that was a very quick pick of Dahaka. They didn't even they didn't want to time it together. The dog is my official mascot. Pretty awesome. So they picked the Dahaka, and they did not know who else they wanted to pick, but they really wanted Dahaka because they picked him instantly. Almost gives a lot more. This gives an extra, 55 little things, but gives Winston Churchill another 55 seconds to think about a counter to Dahaka, which there are a good amount of counters to Dahaka. And once again, picking up the Alexstrasza. I guess they are very comfortable with the Alexstrasza. They like the Dragon form or the Dragon Queen to be an option. It doesn't provide any follow-up to the Garrosh, doesn't provide any counter to the Maiev. So Stukov was picked. You almost probably don't want to have Malfurion against Maiev, but Malfurion's also really good with Garrosh. Who would have been... I think I would have liked... What are the other healers available? I don't know. Uther. Uther's pretty good. So, who does Winston want to ban? They do not have their tank yet, but they're probably looking to ban the counter to their next two picks. So since they have the next two picks, they're obviously going to be looking for their tank and probably one of their solo laners, so they're going to be looking to see who they do not want to go against with their tank. And decide to ban out the Greymane. Greymane's very good with Merking on this map. Basically an all-around hero. They know that they played Greymane, and they know that Victorious played Greymane in the last game, so they think they want to get rid of some type of comfort pick. And basically, I mean, Victorious is thinking, what tank do we not want to go against? They're showing the Diablo, thinking that, hey, we don't want to deal with any Warden's Cage, APOC shenanigans. Which is very fair. I mean, it's one of those things that if it goes off, it's detrimental, especially if the Warden's Cage hits anybody, like anybody of a significance. Maybe not the Garrosh or the Dahaka, because Dahaka can burrow, and Alexstrasza can go into dragon form. But like whatever DPS that they decide to pick. So far against the Garrosh with the Maiev, I kind of I was actually just about to say ETC. I know you guys don't believe me, but I was about to say ETC. And once again with Zagara. I guess they're thinking, Zagara's that sleeper OP solo laner, which she kind of is. I mean, she's actually pretty hard to beat in the solo lane. Especially since, once again, Victorious Jr. early picked their solo lane. It's one of those tricky drafting things where if you have a situation on the map that requires it's like you win or lose based off of this pick or based off of this lane, it's pretty risky to take it early. Most of the time Blaze is usually very safe because he can be safe in the lane, he can clear it enough without losing, and then the bunker and the stun can provide you enough value in the team fight that it's worth it. The Haka is the same way. I mean, he can usually do well in the lane, safe enough, and then with his burrow to make a 5v4, and the stun is very safe. The Kel'Thuzad, spicy Kel'Thuzad against the Maiev and the ETC. And the Genji, now that they have the Genji, we're going to be looking for a lot of ganks on the Zagara. Thing I'm worried about with Victorious Juniors, with their comp that they show so far, is that they have very little wave clear. Very little wave clear. Kel'Thuzad basically has to use all of his abilities to clear the wave efficiently. Garrosh has nothing, and Alexstrasza is, healer. But she still is decent. Genji, I would like to see Winston Churchill pick something very wave clear heavy. Just force them to have to deal with the lane all the time, and somebody that can lane, somebody that can merc. Hanzo's probably going to be good at level 4 if he goes to Q talent. Hanzo's weak against Genji, can be good against Kel'Thuzad with Dragon Arrow. Who else? We got Phoenix's band. Chen, obviously. Lol. Lunara. Lunara will give decent wave clear. I think that might be more of a comfort thing as opposed to something else. Just provides a good dot. Puts a dot on Genji so that way he can't really deflect it. So that forces Genji to kind of, if he goes in, he's going to have to back out pretty quick. Granted, he's going to have to back out pretty quick anyways because there's an ETC and a Stukov. And a Maiev. So Genji's going to have a tough time, honestly. Honestly, like, Alexstrasza, I feel like, should be an Uther. If that was an Uther, I would like this comp a lot more. Once again, I mean, I like what they were going with Victorious Juniors. I like what they were going with. The early Dahaka pick is nice. Because, I mean, like, it's one of those spicy, it's a good hero on this map. I don't like the early pick of Dahaka, but the idea was there. I got to give it to Winston Churchill Manatees again. I think they have the stronger draft for this map and to counter the enemy team. So anyways, let's get into it. Game number 2. Let's go to my right overlay. So game number 2, we got Victorious Juniors once again on the left on the blue team. J-Mac on the Garrosh. Crazy Mage playing that Mage Kel'Thuzad. Belalos on the Alexstrasza. Aishitaro on the Genji, and Tanzer on the Dahaka. On the right-hand side, Winston Churchill Manatees, Siltherant on the Lunara, Nathan on the Maiev, Quilf on the ETC, Grover on the Stukov, and Cheekies on the Zagara. Actually going bot lane, not being top lane. Quite interesting. We're actually going the Umbral Bind build for the Maiev. This is actually the new hotness from the last weekend of HGC. Everybody going the Umbral Bind, getting that basically just the burst damage once he gets those stacks off. It's quite hard to get those stacks, so you have to be pretty aggressive. But once you do it, it provides just a lot of burst. With one chain going out, no follow-up chain. Lunara with that run speed does make it pretty hard to chain on top of her. Actually, should have just looked for the Stukov. Wait, how does Zagara rotate up there that quickly? So Dahaka will probably have a very tough time here, especially since the Zagara went the Infest build. Basically makes those ranged minions do so much damage that when Dahaka gets in there, if he doesn't clear him fast enough, they actually will poke him down pretty hard. A lot of times Dahaka is probably going to be looking to, honestly, burrow when this Hydralisk comes out. This a little tip for this solo lane. When this Hydralisk comes out, you burrow. And then just immediately reburrow, like once that Hydralisk goes onto a minion, because it loses the targeting. But the one good thing here is that Dahaka, it has a lot of self-sustain. He's able to hearth and come back in if he needs to. And so as much damage as he gets on the Zagara, which is going to be hard to catch if he doesn't keep hitting these bushes. You want to constantly come in with a bush, come around as much as possible, get that first tongue in. The run speed on the Zagara is going to be so tough. Ooh, nice. ETC is a pretty good counter to Garrosh, just because of that exact situation right there. You become a bait of the throw. So Garrosh throws ETC, you just slide back into the Garrosh. Now the Garrosh is kind of stunned, and ETC is in a safe position. Chains go off. Kel'Thuzad's only at 3 stacks, so during that whole time I was watching top lane, the Kel'Thuzad is only able to get 1 stack. Basically hitting that first chain on the Maiev. So not looking too hot for him so far. You would expect him to have a couple more stacks by now, at least up to 10, I would think. Garrosh, and this is the thing I was talking about, they have very little wave clear. Garrosh is getting poked. Maiev with the pull and the silence from the Stukov stopping his escape, which is going to net first kill for Winston Churchill. And Dahaka's just having a tough time. I mean, honestly, Winston Churchill is just dominating every lane. They have the wave clear with the Stukov and the Maiev, honestly, and the Lunara. There's just not enough counter wave clear. Like, it took so long to kill those 5 minions. There's just not enough counter wave clear from Victorious Juniors. I mean, they're just pushing in. I mean, Winston Churchill, half a level lead, full level right now. They have both the top lane and the bottom lane, so they're actually not even worrying about going for the dragon. Another combo breaker. They're not even worried about the dragon because that now, since they have both shrines, beacons, they have to force somebody in the mid lane, or Victorious Juniors has to force somebody in the mid lane to stop the dragon from being taken. But Stukov, trying to delay the dragon as much as possible, might go down here. The dragon does get taken. Actually, he just walks away. Sorry, I hit the mic. He just straight up walked away. I mean, there was no stickiness. Kel'Thuzad missed everything. Nothing to tether him to. The Haka still having a real tough time against the Zagara. At a level 7 talent tier advantage for Winston Churchill. I mean, they're just getting as much value as they could possibly want. I mean, an early dragon taking a fort is probably the best thing you could ask for. Honestly, they could even have a couple times. They could just walk down and get another tower if they really wanted to, but just playing it safe with the level 7s. Dude, Dahaka is not having a fun time. He honestly probably hates life. He ended up going to Super Generation 1 who collects, since he's not going to be in too much team fighting, trying to fight against the Zagara. I do suspect the Zagara is going to take Nidus work this time. Kel'Thuzad finally gets some stacks. He's up to 15, so he gets the first half of it. More cooldown is going to allow him to stack it up a little bit faster. But still a level and almost a level and a half. Ooh, looking for the long range. Oh, just so close. If that was just a little bit farther into the lane, that actually would have gotten the Stukov, and that would have been a great stun and pickup for Victorious. This guy's just... And plus, also, Zagara is stacking up so much Serrated Spines damage that Zagara is actually going to be impossible to defeat late game. Or, like, you're not going to 1v1 him. Finally, the Winston Churchill's deciding to go for some camps. A lot of times on this map, when you're in that situation where the... nice, honestly, like, the spread to stop the chains from going in. A lot of times, like, when you're in a situation where you control both the top and the bottom beacon, that's the time when you'll want to take a Merc because you know somebody's going to be in the mid lane. Good kill on the ETC, finally getting the combo in. Garrosh jumps onto the point, looking to try to get that stun. Unfortunately, he was not level 10 yet to be able to have the taunt on top of the Maiev. Gets a tongue, getting some good damage out there. I mean, that's damage that will stay on Zagara until she gets Nidus Network, which is going to be in very shortly. So, team's waiting for level 10. We have Mosh Pit from the ETC. We do see Nidus, so now Zagara has the same amount of healing that Dahaka does, and with the level 10s, they immediately just jump into them. Swiping from the Stukov actually saves the rest of Victorious Jr., but then you have a Maiev that just, has a free blink and jumps into everybody. And actually, the damage... Wait, the Genji dashed away, but the Lunar Fire from the Loon's Wrath ends up getting the killing blow. That feels bad. I mean, a great engage from Winston Churchill, knowing that they have 10s. And as guessing where they are. And now we're in a situation where Zagara can just use Nidus. If she ever rotates down here to get some creep, she can just start Nidusing across the map and having the same amount of global potential that Dahaka does. Lunara with the cheeky vision. And she even has the reveal, so she's able to see Dahaka as much as she wants. And now it's going to scare the Dahaka off. The Zagara just happily pushes the top lane. Level 10 available for Victorious. Adaptation, the Taunt, Cleansing Flame, and X-Strike. Good combo on the... We did not see the full combo with Crazy Mage, but that was the good stun. I'm surprised he did not use his R there. I think he might have been less confident that he was going to actually be able to hit the Stukov. Looking for it again. Does not end up hitting it this time. So Dragons, I mean, took a lot of damage there. Honestly, kind of pretty unnecessary since there was this free fort. Like, you probably could have left a couple people to kind of just poke and have the dragon do his thing. Zargar, once again, giving Dahaka the worst time of his life. Dragon just doing its thing, waddling around, trying to get some value. Getting some stack combos, up to 21 stacks. See, like, I mean, this is the downside. We do see the Maev's talent here, only able to get one tether so far. Honestly, it's really just because they've been kind of dominating the rotation that they haven't even been wanting to fight. Zagara getting the bile drop again. Doesn't want to go with the slow banelings or anything like that. I think he only got up to like 3 stacks last game. But with the level 13s, Stukov zoning, they're going to be aggressive on the Giants. Zagara is going to go ahead and take this camp. Again, she has Nidus. If she does end up rotating down here, which I would like to see the Zagara at least once rotate down just to get the creep tumor and put her Nidus down. Just so that way she has the potential for the global if it's needed. I mean, so far the game's just been Winston Churchill's just been dominating it so far. It's very hard for Victorious to really show up on the map just because there's so much, like, there's just no wave clear. Oh man, nice burrow evading the ETC stun, but the pushback and the Maiev pull. Adaptation is not even going to go off fast enough for him to heal off of it. Cleansing Flame comes out, trying to get some of their healing off against the Warden's Cage. Stukov with the silence on the Garrosh. Good combo, no R though. And then getting some good healing. But there's still a lot of Zagara damage. Zagara's actually out of mana, and they have the Knights here pushing in with that spell armor that gives to everybody. Oh, he was going for that mosh pit. Nice interrupt from the Garrosh. That would have been a sick mosh. But that's Dragon now, and Zagara, no, she has Nidus. Honestly, Maiev should not be going top because Zagara has Nidus up there, but doesn't matter. I guess they determined that Zagara is finally going to the bot lane to put a creep tumor here. An easy Dragon. And I would like to see them probably push mid, I guess, to get that keep. No level 16s yet. There is going to be a brief window of time when Victorious has the same talent tier as Winston Churchill. The Dragon is just chunking away at that while the rest of the team looks to get 13. 13 reached. Let's see if they get an engagement here. The wait for the after the kick. There it is. Now they're going to want to re-engage pretty soon. As soon as the Garrosh kind of runs back. Hopefully they can get us no stun from the Kel'Thuzad. That's honestly what they need to look for. Or like, if they can get the stun on with a KTC combo, that's really going to be their engage tool. If they don't get it, it's going to be tough for them to fight into anything. Looking for that pull. Got too scared, or like he's just getting zoned out. Honestly, it's so tough for him to stay into the fight. I mean, he's trying so hard. They might just push to get 2 keeps here. Actually gets thrown into farther in, so nobody gets pulled by the tether. Getting stun locked. R coming in, but Maiev just uses the trait to run away. A mosh pit hitting 2 people, but the Kel'Thuzad actually stops the mosh. Genji going into the Lunara. Does not get the kill. Oh man. But ends up, wait, the Lunara leapt over the Genji, right into his face, and the questing is able to actually give a full shuriken onto the Lunara, which killed her, which is pretty funny. They actually were turning that pretty well until Maiev comes in and just kills them all and is able to dodge the Kel'Thuzad with her trait. So it ended up being a 4 for 2 on beneficial to Winston Churchill. They're pushing core. They do have catapults pushing in both lanes. Oh my gosh, Maiev though just dodges everything. Was able to get a couple more stacks during all those team fights. I would imagine we're going to see the 3 remaining members of Winston Churchill rotate around and get the mercs that are available. Garrosh one thing away from finishing his quest. So what can Victorious do? They're gonna get invaded upon. Stukov with the silence. Does he get the root? He did not get the wait, he hit that. I'm surprised he didn't root them there. The root would have been, he hit them too with Postural and didn't wanna. That would have been a sick engagement, honestly. Would have lined him up for an ETC mosh. But honestly, doesn't really matter what Winston Churchill does now. Right now, they have full control of the map.
Free the Dragon Knight and slaughter your enemies.
Just painting the whole map red. A 3-level lead, still no level 16 for Victorious. It's such a tough spot to be in. It's just one of those things where you just want to make a risky play, kind of just sit in a bush, have like the Haka clear the wave, everybody else sit in a random bush, and force Winston Churchill to play safe. But this dragon is probably going to go straight to core. With so much lane pressure, there's just not enough wave clear. Victorious just does not have enough wave clear to deal with it. Looking for that combo. Oh. Ended up using it a little. He did finish his quest though, so that's good. And he has the Flackety done so that he can, res if he ends up dying. Oh, nice mosh pit coming in. The Garrosh actually, Garrosh actually ends up somehow getting pulled into it from the Maiev, I believe. ETC is close to dying, but Stukov heal and his own self heal is enough to get him off. Ends up falling, but the dragon just pumping at the core the whole time, giving them that second win and the match victory for Winston Churchill Manatees. So congratulations to Winston Churchill. That was pretty solid 2-game win. Don't remember who the leader was. Quoof. I can't even actually whisper him. What? I mean, honestly, it was the Cigar just dominated both games. Like the amount of wave clear that she provided, the amount of lane control that she provided. They just could. I mean, Winston Churchill just did not. Either they were not expecting it, they banned the tracer every time, and that last game they just did not provide enough wave clear to be able to really match it. But we're actually going to do kind of a quick interview with Quolf. Ask a couple questions, kind of congratulate them. Lobby 3. Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing all right, man. Congratulations. Those were some pretty dominant wins there.
Yeah.
So how do you guys feel after coming out of that? Was it kind of expected? Did you guys know anything about Victoria's Juniors coming into this match?
I'm pretty sure Victoria's Juniors is new to the scene.
I
think it was their first season. What we did was we focused on what happened to our game yesterday. We did a 1-1 draw. And the first game we played a poke comp type position that really, really didn't suit our style. So in the next game we went total dive and just went into your face.
Mm-hmm.
And we did it again perfectly twice in a row. Get that W.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, So for you guys, are you guys new to the scene? Or have you guys? I believe remember seeing your team name last season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we were in Div or C last season. We made it to the divisional finals and lost to the team that is now in this division as well, Uncomfortably Numb.
Oh, so you guys are gonna be
So-
looking for a rematch there.
Oh yeah, that's a big thing. The other thing is we have 3 new players this year. We had to drop, or 3 people had to quit due to scheduling and just wanted to take a break a little bit from the schedule. But yeah, me and Grover are the backbone, and we picked up Sylv, Nate, and Cheekies, and we're killing it. We're doing really well right now.
So, I mean, I gotta say, what's the priority on that Zagara? Was it just because of the other team showing their solo laner so early, or do you guys just really like Zagara that much?
I would say a little bit of both. We knew Tomb and Dragonshire are very solo lane dominant.
Yep.
If you're winning a solo lane, you're gonna 9 out of 10 win the game because you got that XP lead. So with Zagara there, just pretty much pushing and eating down any solo laner and any melee solo laner in sight. So I mean, that's what's just gonna happen to you.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much exactly what happened, especially in that second game. What were you guys thinking about that Kel'Thuzad?
The Kel'Thuzad was a little spicy. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it. We weren't too worried about it. I mean, I was the only traditional frontline,
Mhm.
so I wasn't too worried about it. I'm pretty sure no anybody else on my team were worried about it. So, I mean, he did play good. He got a couple of good chains off. Never landed a big combo though.
Nah, yeah, it was noticeable that the combos were a little lacking, unfortunately. But so with the obviously you guys had the very last pick on the draft since you were second, and you last picked Lunara. What was your reasoning for that?
We talked about it. That's why it took so long. So we talked about it, and we were thinking like, what can win? And the only thing we thought about winning would be Lunara. And we ran everything. We said, what about KT? What about Vala or anything else? And
So what were your reasons for saying that Lunara will provide the win over like a KT or a Greymane or a I don't know if I think Greymane was actually banned, but you know any of those other DPSers.
The steady damage that she can deal is very nice. If you have no way of punishing her, it's hard to kill her. And the only way they had really punishing her was a
Genji.
Garrosh throw or even a KTZ chain. I mean, the Genji, if he came in,
Yeah, he gets
we were all
poisoned.
just going to turn on him.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah, I think that looking through the match, it seemed Lunara was a very good pick. Honestly, and one of the other kind of things a lot of people don't think about is that Lunara with the run speed actually makes it very hard for Kel'Thuzad to actually finish his combos. There were a couple times when the Kel'Thuzad actually hit your Lunara, but then went first, or actually hit, I think you on the ETC, and then tried to go for Lunara, and it was just like such an easy dodge. It wasn't even close because of that extra run speed. But either way, those were both. I mean, they're both very solidly won for you guys. So good luck in the future with the games. I'm actually in this division with my team, but we are new and have a lot of new players. So we'll be coming up with you guys soon, I'm sure, and hopefully it's a good match.
oh yeah. Thanks for the cast, man.
Yep, no problem. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, guys. So that's going to be it for me for these 2 matches. That's going to be actually probably going to be it for me for this week. I'll be back next week with probably a couple casts here and there, and for my actual team's matches, which I hope will be cast. And if they're not being casted, then I'll just stream them on this channel so you guys can hear our comms and stuff like that. Well, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys thought about it. If any tips or anything I need to work on, especially if there's phrases that I say a lot. I try to be self-conscious or not self. I try to be subconscious about when I'm saying them and when I'm trying not to say them. But any tips is always helpful. Always looking to improve. I hope you guys liked it. Follow if you need to, if you're looking to see when I go live. I'm going to be casting the rest of the season. So, you guys have a good night.